What's going on, everybody? Steve V here with another video. I hope everybody's doing well out there. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking the 12 Arcade1up cabinets that I have. The main title that Arcade1up tried to recreate, I'm going to see how much it would cost if I were to get the real arcade machine version of that particular title that they're trying to emulate. I also have the Attack from Mars virtual pinball machine, and I wanted to see how much it would cost for me to have a real Attack from Mars pinball machine. So basically what I tried to do in this video is see how much it would cost for me to have the exact same setup down here, the exact same titles, and the exact same pinball table that has real arcade machines and a real pinball table. Now there were 3 sites that I saw that were selling arcade machines and pinball machines. One was a company called Joystick. The other one was called Vintage Arcade Superstore. And the last website that I used to try to find some of these titles that I have down here was eBay. So between those 3 websites and companies, I was able to find every title and really see how much it would cost if I were to go that route. Now I do understand there's many different ways you can buy arcade machines, and there's a lot cheaper routes to go than those 3 websites that I just mentioned. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to try to find sites where literally someone like me, who's not really someone that knows how to work on an arcade machine, knows how to work on a real pinball machine. I'm looking for something that's literally ready to go, has been fixed, worked on, restored, and ready for somebody like me to buy, just have and enjoy. So the prices you're going to be seeing in this video for the real arcade machines and the real pinball are basically it's the cheapest price between those 3 websites that I told you. Joystick's website, Vintage Arcade Superstore's website, and eBay. Another thing that I did to kind of make it interesting is I took the price of what the Arcade1up cabinet was in the States. I also took the price of what it was here in Canada, because that's where I live and that's the price that I bought the cabinet for. And then obviously I have the price of what the real arcade machine would be. And at the end of the video, I basically total it up so you can see how much it cost to have these 12 cabinets and the pinball machine as, if I lived in the States, what it cost in Canada to have what I have, and what it would cost if I did have all real machines and a real pinball down here. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. It was really fun to collect the info, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get it started. So the first cabinet we're going to take a look at is the Frogger cabinet. Now this is a cabinet when Arcade1up announced it, I knew I had to have it since I'm such a big Frogger fan. And though this cabinet does have a couple flaws, it's still a really fun cabinet to play, and something that I play every time I'm in my arcade. Now if you were to buy this in the States, at this moment it's being sold for $415.99. Here in Canada, it was sold for $599.99. But if you wanted the real Frogger cabinet, it would cost $2,495. That's how much it would cost to have a real Frogger cabinet. So the next cabinet we're going to take a look at is one of my favorites, and that's the PacMan cabinet. Now, in the States, this is being sold for $449.99. Here in Canada, it's $599.99. If I were to get a real PacMan cabinet from the websites that I checked out, the cheapest one was $2,495. Now, probably my most played Arcade1up cabinet that I have down here is the Class of 81, the half Ms. PacMan, half Galaga. Now, this cabinet in the States is going for $599.99. Here in Canada, it's $699.99. If I were to get a real Class of 1981, it would cost me $2,999. So the next cabinet we're going to take a look at is the Tempest Cabinet. Now, this cabinet is one of the most beautiful cabinets Arcade1up has done as far as form factor. They really hit it out of the park, trying to make it look very similar to the original cabinet. With this Tempest Cabinet, it's going for $449.99 in the States. Here in Canada, it's going for $599.99. But if I were to buy a real Tempest cabinet on the sites that I checked out, the cheapest one was $2,995. So the Turtles in Time cabinet is a cabinet that I'm so lucky to have down here because I have so much nostalgia for the game and for the actual cabinet. And it's even a cabinet that I see currently because we have a barcade in my city that has this cabinet and I play it every time I'm there. Now, the Arcade1up cabinet is going for $699.99 in the States. It's going for $829.99 here in Canada. If I were to buy a real Turtles in Time cabinet, it would cost me $3,195. So the Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet is a cabinet that I play quite a bit when I'm down here. It's a cabinet that I have a connection to because I used to play Mortal Kombat 2 quite a bit on my Super Nintendo. And if I was lucky enough to ever see the actual arcade machine, it just felt special playing it on there. Now, when Arcade1up made their version, I knew I had to pick it up. Now, this current Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet is being sold for $449.99 in the States, $599.99 here in Canada. But if I wanted a real Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet, the cheapest one that I found was $3,495. Now, Marvel vs. Capcom is a game that I really enjoy, but I'm terrible at. I always end up losing whenever I play this game. But either way, I still really enjoy it. And Spider-Man and Venom are my two favorite characters to play anytime I play this game. Now, it's being sold for $549.99 in the States. I found one on the Walmart site. Here in Canada, it was just sold at Best Buy for $699.99. If I were to get the real Marvel vs. Capcom cab, which is usually a conversion cab, but if I were to actually buy one that has that chip in it, it would cost me $3,179. So Street Fighter 2 is such a fun game to play, and there's so many different versions of that particular game. Now, as far as artwork, this is probably my favorite Street Fighter 2 artwork. I was so happy when they decided to use it for the Capcom Legacy. Now, if you were to buy this cabinet in the States right now, it's $449.99. Here in Canada, it's being sold for $599.99. Now, if you were to buy this cabinet, the real deal, it cost $3,495. That was the cheapest one I found. Now, the Simpsons game and cabinet is one I have a lot of nostalgia for. I remember playing this as a kid, and I remember even a couple years ago seeing a Simpsons cabinet at a little putt and blast place that we had in town. So when Arcade1up made their version, I knew I wanted to pick it up. In the States, it's being sold for $529, and that's the one without the stool. Here in Canada, it's $799.99. A real Simpsons cabinet would cost $3,895. Now, this original Golden Tee cabinet, was sold for $399.99 in the States. A really good deal for such an amazing cabinet. Here in Canada, it was sold for $599.99. If I wanted the original Golden Tee Classic, this was a hard one to actually find. It's being sold for $1,999.99. So one of the cheaper cabinets that are out there, just because it's an older game, but still a classic. So Big Buck Hunter / Big Buck World is such a fun cabinet to play, a great bar game. When Arcade1up announced this, I knew I wanted to pick it up as well. It was being sold in the States for $499.99. Here in Canada, it was a little more expensive, $799.99. If I were to get a Big Buck Hunter Pro, it would cost $3,895. Now, the Ridge Racer cabinet is a great cabinet and something I have some nostalgia for, because when I worked at the movie theater in my teens, we had a Ridge Racer there. So I remember hearing the Attract Mode song, and it was just a great game to play. So I knew I wanted to pick this up as well. Now, this cabinet is being sold in the States for $699.99. Here in Canada, $849.99. Now, the only Ridge Racer cabinet that I remember was a sit-down cabinet, and when I tried to find the price for that, I could not find one for sale. But I did find a stand-up version, but I don't know if it's an actual legit stand-up Ridge Racer cabinet, or if it's something that somebody modified and is just selling on a website. I couldn't really figure it out, but either way, this is the exact comparison of this cabinet that Arcade1up came out with. And this one is being sold for $1,295. So the last thing we're going to take a look at is the Attack from Mars Pinball. I was so happy to get a virtual pinball machine down here. I've always enjoyed pinball, but I was always pretty nervous to buy a real one because I just don't know how I would fix it if anything broke on it. So to have a virtual one just really takes care of that issue for me. This cabinet sold in the States for $749.99. Here in Canada, it's really gone up in price since I bought it. It's being sold for $999.99. If I were to buy a real Attack from Mars pinball machine, the cheapest one that I found was $3,895. Okay, so now we're going to tally up the totals of what it would cost to get these 12 Arcade1up machines and the pinball machine if I lived in the States, how much it cost here in Canada to get these, which is the actual cost that I paid because I live here in Canada, and how much it would cost to get these exact same 12 titles and the pinball machine, but as real arcade machines and a real pinball table. So let's start with the American price first. So the American price for these 12 Arcade1up machines and the pinball machine is $6,944.88. That's basically what I thought it would be when I did the math. It made sense. Now we'll go to the Canadian price. Now the Canadian price kind of shocked me a little bit just because I did start collecting Arcade1ups quite a while ago. I started in early 2019. And since then, you know, I bought cabinets, then I sold them, then I used some of that money to buy new cabinets. So when I saw this total, it shocked me a little bit because I was like, I don't think I paid that much. But you never know. Maybe after all the buying and selling and all the stuff that I did, maybe I am somewhere along this line. But either way, you know, I do have these 12 cabinets down here. I do have the pinball machine. So this is what it would cost if you were to buy these now. It's $9,279.87. So if you were to go to Walmart, Best Buy, the Brick, these 12 cabinets and the pinball machine, if you were to buy them all today at the price that they're selling today, that would be the total. When I bought some of these cabinets and the pinball machine was a little bit cheaper. I got the Simpsons and the Turtles on a bit of a deal. So, and then like I said, I've done a lot of buying and selling and using money from previous cabinets for other cabinets. So, like I said, as far as the total that I've spent, I'm not really sure if it is close to that. Probably is, but this is the total of what it is if you were to buy these all now, currently. So now we'll get to the real arcade machines and the real pinball. So if I were to have the exact same titles and the exact same pinball machine, but all as real arcade machines and a real pinball table, it would cost me $44,227.99. Now again, this is me getting the cheapest price for each of those cabinets and that pinball machine through those 3 sites that I used. There are other avenues to buy arcade machines and pinball machines, and maybe you could find it cheaper. Because like I said, maybe you would go to an auction and you could get a better price, or maybe you could buy something that's a little beat up and you know how to restore it to bring it back to life, and maybe put a little bit of money in and really get a deal out of it. But if you're someone like me that wants to just buy something that's, you know, all set, restored, you know, ready to play and enjoy, and these 3 sites, like I said, they were selling things ready to go. I picked the cheapest price for each of those, and this was the total of what it would be for me to get the exact same 12 titles and pinball machine that I have down here as Arcade1up cabinets. So very interesting, you know, collecting this info. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a fun video to make, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks again for watching and for all the support. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon.